Hello, welcome to Mowgli TV. Today we're going to go through 5 more tips for better VJ clips. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a video that comes before this one. I recommend you watch that one if you haven't seen it yet. Tip number 1, we make clips in Grayscale. I don't recommend that you do this for every single clip you make. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you require very specific colors for very specific content, especially if you're making custom content for a particular artist or something along those lines. But if you're making clips for your own library to be used in many instances, to fit with different sets of visuals and different kinds of music, it makes a lot of sense to have some of your clips edited in Grayscale because that makes them neutral. They're more like building blocks. So if you've got Grayscale, you can easily tweak the colors in your clips by using colorize with very predictable results. You can use colorize on colored clips and you can achieve what you want, but it will take longer and a lot more thinking to achieve what you're after. Here's some Grayscale clips from my loop pack Sacred Geometry, available on Gumroad. And as you can see, it's all a series of clips all in Grayscale. And basically, if we just apply colorize to it with palette, you can see that instantly, especially if we've got some presets already made. So I strongly recommend it in conjunction with either a save presets for the colorize, so you can have them there, or just by changing to any of your other gradients. Tip number 2, think of your clips as building blocks, not as finished films. Although, again, it depends on your VJing style and there's always scope to do things in different ways. It makes for a more versatile library of clips if you think of them as building blocks for something bigger. Think of them more like a Lego brick rather than a finished spaceship. You got a finished spaceship, it's a lot of fun and you can have a play, but you're going to be very limited to just that spaceship. If you're doing animations, it makes sense to not bake the backgrounds into the foreground action so that you can actually have that as 2 separate clips, which makes them useful in other places, in other environments, and you can mix them up a lot more. Tip number 3, create clips in sets. Although it might seem like an obvious choice, a lot of people just do single animations. There's many ways of interpreting what a set is. It could be a number of clips that have a similar theme. It's the same element animated in different ways. Or also a set could be a group of clips that works really well together when layered one on top of each other. I find musical analogy especially good to explain what these sets are. If you're thinking in terms of music, you could see a set as a musical progression, like a series of chords that goes up and down, creating a certain mood. Or you can think of them as musical stems where you've got your percussion track, your bass line, your leads and everything else as separate stems that then you can mix live and create slightly different variants of the same subject. Having these sets helps you create a narrative and it makes it easier to decide what to do, where to go while you're VJing live. You know that if you've got a set of clips already arranged on your deck, you just need to progress through them. As the music progresses, it builds up, it breaks down. You can do exactly the same using the clips you've got on your deck. Tip number 4, leave gaps in the action. Again, this is probably a strange one. Some people think, why would I leave a gap in my VJing clip? And there's very good reason for it. Not only that, it sometimes makes a lot of sense to have something happening and then nothing happening and then something happening again, or something appearing and disappearing with some space in the middle. Don't just leave random gaps, time them to whatever BPM and to the feel of the clip you're doing. Gaps can act like an extra set of hands while you're VJing. I bet there's been cases where you've been triggering a clip every now and then. If you've got gaps already baked into your clips, that means that you could divert your attention and use it to do something else while that's taking care of itself, as the clip will come in and out at a predetermined rate depending on the length of the gap you've left there. Then again, if there's cases where you don't want to have the gap, it's easy to adjust that within Resolute using the brackets in the transport control of your clip. Here's a clip from my pack available on Gumroad, Triads 1, and I'm just going to switch on the background alpha so you can see what's happening here. And as you can see, there's a gap there. So we've got a complex alpha channel and there's also black in it. The combination of those 2 things makes for a very powerful compositing. But again, as I said, the important thing is the actual fact that there is a gap in the clip. Something worth noting is that nothing is something, and this applies to blacking out the visuals while you're performing as well, but that's a different matter that I'll touch on a different video. And finally, tip number 5, tune the length and beats of your clip to the action on it. A good example to illustrate this point is this hexagonal clip from my pack Beatagon available on Gumroad. And as you can see, it's a hexagon, so it's got 6 corners. It's kind of the norm to edit things in multiples of 4, because that's the way most dance music is structured, with a 4x4. But in this case, that wouldn't have worked for a hexagonal shape that's being animated on the beat, because there's 6, not 4. So basically, it makes a lot more sense to actually edit this clip to multiples of 6. If you want to be able to actually synchronize things with clips that have lengths of 4 beats, then it's easy to do multiples like 12, which includes 3/4 in it. So bear in mind these numerical structures when you're actually building animation cycles. If I turn on the metronome, you can see that each beat lands on one of the corners of the hexagon, which makes for a more synesthetic video clip. So that's it for today's tips. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, as it really helps me. And if you've got any suggestions for future tutorials or any comments regarding this video, please do so in the comments section, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.